guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I wanted to make a look out of this new palette that I got recently. This is the look that I came up with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button so you can see more of my videos. Anything I use will be listed down in the description box below. If you'd like to see how I do this, then keep on watching. For today's look, I'm going to be using the new palette that I got for my birthday. It is the ColourPop Sage the Day. I did use this in my last video and I really enjoyed the shades that I used. So I wanted to use it again for this video and create something different. Before I get started, I want to show you the new cup that my husband bought me. I really like mason jars and I usually use mason jars with these bamboo tops for my coffee. But he got me this. It's supposed to be like 24 ounces, but I think it's more of like 20 ounces. But I'm using this now for my coffee and I'm in love with it because it gives me more coffee in one cup than using my mason jars. As usual, I've already prepped my eyebrows and my eyes off camera. We are going to create this look on this eye. There's this brown shade in this palette that I really wanted to use, so that's why I thought of this look today. It is called Manifest, and I'm going to take it with a flat Morphe brush. And I'm going to use this to create the top part of this look. And this is going to be the darkest shade of this eyeshadow. And then I'm going to blend it out. I think the only thing that I struggle with doing my one eye before my other one is trying to make it match. Usually I do my makeup together on both eyes, but I do this for the videos just so you guys can see what I'm doing and like what the finished product is. And I just feel like trying to make it match makes it a little bit harder because the finished product always looks different than the beginning, obviously, but I mean just like the shapes and stuff of the eyeshadow. I'm creating this shape, but like it's gonna look different when it's blended out and like all the rest of the eyeshadows are on top of it. So just trying to make it match makes it a little hard. Now that I have the basic shape of the eyeshadow, I'm going to use the shade Intuition and just blend this out. This is just a lighter brown shade in this palette. The thing about this Manifest shade, the first shade that I used, is it's got like a shimmery like layer to it. And I'm not really for sure if that's just like for like cosmetic like looks in the palette to make it look pretty, because like it's so sheer that I just don't see any of the shimmer. So I'm not really for sure if it's supposed to be a shimmer shade or if it's just supposed to be like a light sparkle in it, because it definitely doesn't show up, and maybe I'm just using it wrong, but I don't really understand why this palette has like that as a slight shimmer. It's like barely noticeable. There are shimmer shades in this palette and like they're obviously shimmer shades, so I'm not really understanding what this one is supposed to be. I'm not going to worry too much about what's being blended underneath, just because I am going to cut the crease to make it easier to put that green on there. So we just got done pouring rain and I'm really annoyed by it. Not because it rained, but because it's so random. The rain has been so random here that like it's not even being predicted by the weather app, and like I'm frustrated by it because I never know when it's gonna rain and when it's not gonna rain, even if I look at the weather app. So like my morning routine is to get up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and then like one of the first things I do is go out and like let the dog out, let the cat out because he likes to go outside with me, and then I go and like feed the chickens and then water my garden. I'm gonna go back into that Manifest shade and just put that color back in there now that it's blended out, and this is just gonna darken it up more. But anyways, like I go out and water my garden in the morning, and like half the time I don't look at the weather just because I just base it off of how the weather has been. And it's been like really hot lately, so I just haven't thought about like it raining, so I've just been watering my garden because it's been really hot. If it rains, it's like almost too much water. I think our garden has a good drainage, so like some of that water will go away, but it does water them too much. So I started to think about it, and I was like, you know what, it does kind of look like it's gonna rain today because it was getting kind of dark and like it was cloudy, and I was like, maybe it is gonna rain. And at this point I had already watered my garden. I'm gonna go back into with that Intuition shade and blend this out a bit more. But at this point I had already watered my garden, so I was thinking about it, I was like, well, like maybe it is gonna rain. So I looked up the weather. It said a light drizzle. It wasn't even like in the forecast, it just said it in like the description. And I was like, okay, so it's gonna lightly drizzle, okay, great, that's fine. Like the water, like the garden will be fine. The concealer I'm using is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Ivory, and I just have it on like this little plate so I can pick it up without having to use the back of my hand. The brush I'm using is a 421 brush, but it said it was a light drizzle, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be fine. Like, it's not gonna affect my garden or whatever. And it's not going to change the fact that I already watered the garden. I'm inside like getting prepared to do this video because I always do that before I start filming. Just so like all my morning chores are done. And well, it starts getting like super dark. You know, like right before a storm that it gets like the clouds like cover the sun basically and are all over the sky. And it's like not nighttime, but it just gets really, really freaking dark. Well, it was getting like that, and I was like, I'm starting to think that it's not gonna be a light drizzle, that it's gonna actually like start pouring down rain. And that's exactly what happened. It's just so random, and it's really frustrating because even if I were to have looked at the weather, it wouldn't have mattered because it wasn't showing. It wasn't showing that it was gonna rain. It showed that it was just gonna be a light drizzle, and it turned out that it wasn't. I know I have like friends in Alabama. When we went to visit them one day, it's like super duper hot in Alabama, like around summertime and like springtime. And I've never been to Alabama, so I have, that's a lie. I think I went to Alabama for Gulf Shores, whatever. But like I've only gone to Alabama one time, and it was to a beach. So like I'm not really, near the beach it's gonna be a lot different than like, you know, in like a regular Alabama spot, like just like in the middle of like land when you're not near a beach. Now that the crease is cut, I'm gonna go into that Manifest shade and go right over top of that concealer to put that dark shade back in and just define where that cut crease is. I just feel like this helps define the line where that cut crease is and where the divide of the colors are going to be. And I'm not trying to blend it out. I'm just trying to kind of stamp it in. So far, it's looking like I've matched the other eye. Not really going to know until I'm going to be done. Which once we put the glitter on, that line is going to kind of be blurred. So any imperfections that there might be, it's going to be kind of covered up. The shade I'm going to use for my lid is called Keep Calm. It's this really pretty green shade. I'm using an E18 brush just to kind of stamp this in. I want this color to be really saturated, so I'm picking up a lot on the brush. And I'm only using this brush to get the majority of the color on, and then I'll probably use a smaller brush to pack it underneath of the brown. I'm enjoying this palette so much that I really think instead of getting like more big palettes, I should get more small palettes like this, because I feel like they all kind of have a theme to them, that it's like easier to kind of think of ideas for the palette and what kind of makeup you can do with them. And it just gives you like a smaller, it just gives you like a smaller package to kind of work with instead of having this like big palette and like not really knowing what to use. So I'm really enjoying like the small palettes, because the smallest palette I have is the Carly Bybel one, I think. All the rest of them are like kind of large palettes. So I think I need to start like collecting these small palettes because I'm really enjoying them. Taking a smaller flat brush, I'm going to use that Keep Calm shade, and I'm going to start using this to fill in that space underneath of the brown where that E18 brush couldn't fit. But any small palette recommendations that you guys have, please let me know in the comments and I'll look into them. I'm a big fan of pink. Like if there is like a pink palette that you guys know of that you think I would like, please put that in the comment and I might look into getting it, because I want more palettes and they'll give me more ideas. And I'm a sucker for pink, so. I say I'm a sucker for pink, but I'm not a big fan of pink lipsticks. When I was shopping for makeup this weekend, I was looking at lipsticks because I really like nude lipsticks is what I prefer. And every nude lipstick that I was picking up had like either a peach tint to it or a pink tint to it. And I really don't want that, because maybe it's because like I have more of a pink complexion and like pink lipstick doesn't look good on me. That could be what it is. But I like really like the matte like white or like brown nudes, and I just feel like they don't have those. Maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places, but I feel like I went to a lot of different brands in the Ulta store, and most of the brands just have like pink colors. I don't know if pink is just in right now with lipsticks and that's why they're releasing so many, but I'm not a big pink person. Any pink lipstick that I use, I'm not a big fan of, which like red is a bit different. Like I like red. I don't use red very often because it's very bold, and I like I said, I like nudes. I'm gonna stick to that, but I do like to use red. I think I'm gonna use a slight red today because it's a new lipstick that I got. Now that that green is in there, I'm gonna go back in with this Manifest shade and just redefine that line again. I just feel like this helps make sure that those two colors are completely separate. I want them to be separate. I don't want them to be blended together. Before I add the glitter, I'm gonna clean up underneath of my eye and sharpen that outer edge and clean up any of that excess eyeshadow. This is also gonna be the part that like tells me if it's gonna match my other side or not. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I might have matched them. That's gonna be like one of the first. Feel like I never match them. For glitter glue, I'm gonna use the Hard Candy glitter stay. For glitter, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose glitter in the shade Crystal Cave. The brush I'm using is a 213 brush, and I'm gonna use this to dab that glue right on that line. Using that same brush, I'm gonna pick up that glitter and just kind of stamp it on where that glue is. And it should only stick where that glue is at. Before I decided to use the loose glitter for this look, I wanted to use a shimmer shade in the new palette because I wanted to really try like all the colors in it. I've tried all the colors except for the two of the shimmer shades, getting tongue-tied, except for the two of the shimmer shades that are left, and I wanted to try one of them to test it out and see what it looked like. It's like kind of got a blue tint to it. I'll show a picture of it so you guys can see. But it's got like a blue tint in the palette, but it's actually one of those I don't know what it's called, but like kind of like chrome where like one side it shows one color and then like if you like change the lighting it changes the color. It's one of those, so it looks blue in the pan, but in like really it's like a switch between brown and blue. So you don't really see the blue very much, you just see the brown. So it like goes on brown and then when you move it like turns to blue. And I just didn't think it would look good with the look that I'm doing. So I changed my mind and I was kind of upset about it because I really wanted to use it. Thought it was really pretty in the pan, but it just doesn't look like that in like when I put it on. It looked different. It was kind of hard to see. It looked more brown. So I went with the loose glitter because the other shimmer in the palette was too dark. Now that both eyes are done, I'm going to clean up all the glitter and do my base makeup, and then I'll be right back to finish the eyes. Base is finished. Now I'm going to work on my under eye. Using a 562 brush, I'm going to go into that Keep Calm shade, and I'm just going to blend this underneath of my eye. I'm just going to use this green to get some color under my waterline. I'm not going to do too much. And I'm going to blend it up into the green on the top. Off camera, I'm going to use the NYX Jumbo pencil liner in the shade Black Bean. Off camera, I also did my mascara. I used the Benefit Their Real Mascara. I also did my waterline. I used the NYX Jumbo eye pencil in the shade Macaroon. For highlight, I'm going to use the Moonchild highlighter palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I'm going to use this green shade. It's called Lucky Clover. It's called Lucky Clover. I'm going to use this shade to put it in my inner corner. On my brow bone, using a 510 brush, I'm going to brush this on my cheekbone and then blend it up into my brow bone. And as always, I always use my 213 brush for everything else, so I'm going to use my finger to do my nose highlight. Last thing I'm going to do before I do my lips, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Matte Setting Spray. For lip liner, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner in the shade Rosewood. For lipstick, I'm using a new one. I've not used NARS before. Am I saying it right? I'm not for sure. But I'm using their lipstick. It's a satin lipstick, and I'm not for sure how to pronounce the actual lip shade. It's spelled Tolede. So Tolede. I'm not for sure how to say it, but I'll like spell it out somewhere. This is kind of like a red shade, but not like a super red. So that is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I like hearing y'all's feedback, so please comment down below with anything you'd like to tell me or any future videos you'd like to see. Until next time, bye.